How do you rebuild a community after there's been some sort of man-made or natural disaster? This work continues through the passion projects, the love, the drive of Black women and non-binary folk in the city of Detroit. All of our produce goes free to the community and is chosen by the people who eat it. So we're not growing things that we know the community is not going to eat, because it, one, helps cut down on food waste, but it also reminds us to eat our cultural foods and to talk about the things that we actually consume as Black Americans, you know, whether that's collard greens and tomatoes and gourds and cucumbers and lettuce mixes and things like that. But we make sure that those things are grown and they're given away so that when I put something on the farm stand, it's gone in 24 to 48 hours. A lot of the work we're doing here directly impacts the health of the community. You know, somebody's direct line to nutrient-dense food. The first time I actually learned about the social determinants of health, I remember us having distinct conversations about how race plays a really big factor in how healthy you are going to be and what your quality of life is going to be, and historically why that is. And I think looking back now, I can understand why we had a garden. Like, I know why my mother was growing food. You know, my mom made pasta sauce and that's what we had all winter long. I think a lot of urban farming goes hand in hand with urban development, and a lot of urban development goes hand in hand with gentrification, food sovereignty, food apartheid. Those things are dictated by a number of different factors, but a lot of it is access to land, access to food, access to resources, and having some sort of political power in order to make decisions for your community. About needing to tarp it. Okay, I'm not gonna lift all of that back, but when we walked through here earlier, whenever a space is to be colonized, or a few things happen: land, theft, and then creating a spiritual disconnection in the people from their own cultures, their own customs, and their connection to land. And in us returning to land, returning to building for our community, that is our form of resistance. The very first thing I heard when I first got back to Detroit and was trying to get connected with other farmers was that the people in this neighborhood, the people in this community don't need my help. They just maybe needed a garden down the street, or just need a space to sit down outside so that they can breathe.